Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground there. We've done a pretty comprehensive deep dive based on Beryl's notes into the physical reality of building systems and components, which, as we've stressed, must inform every single interior design choice.
Yeah, absolutely.
So just to quickly review the key takeaways, remember those three primary systems. Structural, which governs load bearing and that crucial difference between superstructure and substructure.
Right.
Then enclosure system, defining the thermal envelope, keeping the weather out, and creating the internal divisions. And finally, the mechanical system, providing essential services like HVAC and plumbing, and critically, often restricting what you can do with ceiling heights and layouts due to the need for space and access.
And listeners should remember the complexity hiding beneath the surface of the components, too. Like the functional classifications of walls, structural, non-structural, load-bearing, non-load-bearing, those crucial technical differences between floor levels, above grade, at grade, and especially below grade, where moisture management is paramount.
Don't forget vapor barriers.
Definitely don't forget vapor barriers. And also the specific spatial efficiency trade-offs involved in choosing from that comprehensive list of stairway types, straight run, half turn, spiral, etc.
But I think the real core takeaway, the guiding decision-making framework for designers, has to be those three overlapping criteria.
Functional, aesthetic, economic.
Exactly. Functional performance, is it safe? Is it durable? Is it easy to maintain? Aesthetic appeal, does it look and feel right? Using color, texture, pattern effectively. And the ultimate financial measure, the economic criteria, which insists on considering not just the upfront cost of acquisition, but that crucial, often deciding factor, the lifetime cost of the component or finish.
All right. Now, as promised, let's do a quick true-false quiz session just to help reinforce some of the key content from the lecture notes. We've covered these details pretty thoroughly, so listen closely for some of the subtle but important distinctions.
Okay, sounds good. Let's see how well these core facts from Beryl's lecture notes have sunk in for everyone listening.
Quiz point 1, true or false? Load-bearing walls are always structural walls, but structural walls are not always load-bearing.
Think carefully. Load-bearing or structural? Structural, not always load-bearing. That is true. Load-bearing walls are definitely part of the superstructure, and their primary job is carrying compressive load downwards. But, as we discussed, other walls can be structural, maybe contributing to bracing against wind without carrying that main vertical load. So, true.
Got it. Quiz point 2, true or false? Selecting a highly durable finish, like a tough vinyl flooring for a high-traffic hospital corridor, primarily satisfies the aesthetic criteria.
Oh, that's a good one to test understanding. Selecting a highly durable finish, primarily aesthetic. No, that is false. Durability is the absolute key focus of functional criteria. Now, the selection also has to satisfy the aesthetic criteria it needs to look appropriate for the hospital, but the reason for choosing high durability is purely functional performance and longevity.
Makes sense. Quiz point 3, true or false? Designing a space with an open frame ceiling where all the ducts and pipes are exposed is highly flexible because it completely removes all constraints imposed by the mechanical system.
Ah, the open ceiling look. Is it constraint-free? No, that is definitely false. An open frame ceiling forces the designer to meticulously coordinate the placement and the visual appearance of every single exposed pipe, duct, conduit, and piece of equipment like VAV boxes. This can actually introduce more stringent constraints on where services can run and how big they can be, because everything is visible. Plus, you often need specific acoustic treatment added to the structural slab above to control noise, which adds another layer of complexity. So, false.
Interesting. Okay, quiz point 4, true or false? The economic criteria for selecting, say, flooring in a busy commercial space like a retail store should heavily weigh the expected cost of disruption required for any future repairs or eventual replacement.
Cost of disruption.
Yeah.
Economic criteria. Yes, that is absolutely true. The cost of disruption, having to close the store or section it off, lost sales, paying for labor during potentially off hours, is a major, though sometimes hidden, component of the overall lifetime cost. It's a huge economic factor in commercial design. True.
Excellent. Last one, quiz point 5, true or false? If you are designing an interior space that is classified as being below grade, like a finished basement, you should immediately prioritize specifying finishes that are highly resistant to mildew and ensure rigorous vapor barrier installation is part of the plan.
Below grade moisture. Mildew resistance, vapor barriers. Yes, that is true. As we covered, below grade environments face the greatest risk of hydrostatic pressure and moisture penetration from the surrounding earth. So, using materials that won't support mold growth, like tile, vinyl, sealed concrete, and ensuring proper vapor management are absolutely mandatory functional requirements. True. Hashtag outro. So what does this all really mean when you put it together?
I think it shows that interior design, done properly, is this incredibly intricate blend of art and science, art and engineering.
Yeah.
Your most brilliant creative vision means almost nothing if it violates the load limits of the substructure, or if it blocks essential maintenance access to the mechanical systems, or specifies a material that will fail functionally in 6 months.
Right.
A truly successful interior designer has to operate simultaneously as an aesthete, yes, but also as a bit of a material scientist, and definitely as a responsible structural steward for the space they're modifying.
That understanding of the physical constraints, the bones of the building, really is the most valuable tool in your design kit, isn't it? Absolutely.
We discussed that subtle but really crucial difference between structural walls and load-bearing walls, and the complexity that classification introduces. And thinking about that complexity raises an important question, maybe a final provocative thought for you, the listener, to mull over.
Okay.
Consider a significant renovation project you've maybe always dreamed of tackling in your own home, or perhaps your workplace. Based on everything we've discussed today from Beryl's notes, what are the top three, maybe structural or enclosure or mechanical systems questions you would now make sure to ask an architect or an engineer before you even committed fully to the design concept? Thanks for spending time with us today, really delving into the fundamentals of interior design building systems.